Oh, sorry. I was eating some soy ice cream. So, namaste, hotep, assalamu alaikum, shalom. This is Kasank Mai Keperu with another broadcast for you. And this one I'm entitling The 11 Laws, or no, The 11 Divisions of the Spirit. Let's put it that way, The 11 Divisions of the Spirit. Sorry, you guys caught me like in the middle of this ice cream. I love it. And I haven't had anything to eat all day. Okay, that's a lie. I had something to eat. But so what are the 11 divisions of the Spirit? Well, you know, like in our Western society, our Western left brain society, one of the things about it being polarized in the left brain is the left brain really focuses a lot on things like technology, mathematics, beliefs, logic, names, nomenclatures, titles, the whole 9 yards. So you see that we have experimented with that and gone there to the umpteenth degree in this Western society. And with our ancestors being integrated brain thinkers, using the right brain, they focus primarily on understanding the nature of existence, the universe, and more importantly, who we are, because they coined the phrase, know thyself. So they wanted to quantify the makeup of man, woman. And so throughout the different periods of Egypt, they start studying and they put together a kind of table of elements, like in chemistry, and they called it the Het-Heru, or the Pantheon of Gods, or the Tree of Life. And on this chart, they said that there are 11 divisions to our spirit. And these things that they call the spirits are really, you can say they're deities, they're gods, they're angels, angelic figures. They could be gnomes, they could be, you know, elementals or whatever name you want to call them. But what they were looking at as these deities who were within us and also connected to all that there is in terms of reality, everything. Because remember, they saw no separation. They looked at things as holistic, you know. Kind of like like everything's unified, you know. So, but they also said that these are genii, geniuses. These are deities are governing certain intelligences or certain principles. So, for example, if you wanted to do well in math, you could appeal to the deity of math, which is Sebek Anubis, and if you gain favor in his eyes, or, you know, he could bless you with the ability to be an Einstein or a super genius in math, you know. What's that guy's name? I forgot his name. It's in The Beautiful Mind. But, you know, so if you wanted to be a perfect dancer, a ballerina or whatever, you could appeal to Het-Heru. You bring her, you know, some flowers, or, you know, and if she likes the color and the fragrance, then she will bestow blessings on you and make you, you know, such a great dancer. You'll be touring the world. So this is how our ancestors looked at it. And as you know, in Western culture, they came up with this idea of different intelligences as well, and different ways of learning. You know, we have tactile, auditory, you know, kinesthetic, things like that. But our ancestors, the ancient Egyptians, took it further than that, and again created this tree of life, this pantheon of gods that really listed out all the attributes, all the intelligences that are there, and the deities that govern those. And then going further, it looked at the frequency vibrations through the hakao, or the mantras, and said this deity governs this mantra. And if you recite this mantra, you will resonate at a certain frequency, therefore opening certain psychic centers to awaken that energy, so you can excel in that particular field. So I want to show this. Let me bring this in so you guys can see this, because this is the actual tree of life. Now, if you study Kemet or Egypt, and you go through the different dynasties or different periods, you'll see different incarnations of the tree. Sometimes you'll see deities that were removed, others that were added to this, because our ancestors are constantly studying this and adding and removing and trying to, again, understand who we are, the divisions of the spirit, and how everything ties together, which is the most important thing. It's like, because not only are these intelligences or energies or deities independent in a sense, but they're also interdependent on one another. All right, and that's important. So let me just go over this quick, and then I'll get more into details. But one of the things, this is a whole system of meditation to where you would start at the bottom, and you would climb your way out to the top through a process of meditating on each different sphere and learning about the deity, its attributes or correspondences, mastering them, and in doing so, then you become more enlightened as you become an extended being, okay? So we start at the bottom, which is Geb, is a 10th sphere. Geb is the physical health. Geb also, our ancestors looked at, was the planet itself. Going up, we have Aset, or Isis, at the 9th sphere. And she governs things like the trance ability, the ability to meditate, to go into an alternate state of consciousness. Then we go over here to the left, of course, left, is Sebek or Anubis, and he governs belief systems. Like, what do you believe? Is your belief erroneous? Is it based on truth? And this is the deity also that deals with left brain thinking, and, what I talked about before, things like, logic, things like naming things, math, things like that, computer programming. Going across is Het-Heru or Hathor. She governs things in the entertainment industry. And as I talked about, if you want to be a good dancer, a ballerina, you would seek favor from Hathor or Het-Heru. She deals with the imagination. How do you visualize things? And going up here to the 6th sphere is Heru, and he is your will. He is circumspection. He fought his evil uncle Set in the battle to resurrect or bring his father Oser back into power. Going up to the 5th sphere is Urukuhuti. He is, we can say, god of war. He brings back balance. His job is not to invoke punishment, but to bring back the balance. And he is known for cutting his head off, so he separates himself from a person. And I'll go a little bit more into detail about that. And going across is Ma'at. Ma'at is the law, reciprocity, truth, justice. So Ma'at sets the law. The law is broken. Hurukuhuti goes out there to enforce that law. Now, Hurukuhuti, as a warrior, you're not afraid to cut your head off. And what that means is basically separate yourself from your person, because you know that you have an animal spirit. And that animal spirit can be a very motivating factor in your life. So you're not afraid to separate yourself from the animal spirit to seek a higher divine essence. And this is what we're going to do by going up to the 2nd sphere, which we have Tehuti, and he is God's wisdom, God's infinite wisdom. So Tehuti imparts wisdom, and when we get to that level, we don't need oracles because we become a living oracle. Directly across is Sekert, and Sekert is God's spiritual power, a tremendous nuclear power that can move mountains. So Sekert also governs mantras. And then going to the center, the sphere number 1 is, I think I went to the number 1 is Oser, and he is symbolized by the mummy. And the mummy is, the mummy is still, not influenced by the emotions. And he wears the crown of Egypt. So, and him being in the center is important, and the number 1 is important because he is one with all things. Nothing can oppose him, because if you are one with all, you cannot oppose yourself, and you understand that. Okay, so this is the goal, is to become Oser, and we go through many different reincarnations, different lifetimes to learn different lessons to become Oser. Above Oser is the state of a complete rest. Amen is peace. And here's the hieroglyphic representation for peace. Amen also represents the hidden. So what I want to really basically talk about is the lower triad, or Set, Sebek, and Het-Heru. And this is what is being used commonly today in our world. And this is a very powerful type of magic. So, and a lot of Christians use this to manifest the things that they want. You know, like their luxury yachts and their planes, jets, Creflo Dollar. So we know if we want to enact spiritual power, or, you know, more precisely, you've seen The Secret or Law of Attraction, or some of these motivational coaches. This is the formula that they actually use. The first thing is a Set. She symbolizes trance, meditation, alternate state of consciousness. So you need to go into an alternate state of consciousness, which is meditation. And in that state of meditation, while you're there, you work with Sebek, which is your belief system. You know, you take into a belief that maybe I want this house for me and my family. It will help us do a lot better than living in this drug-infested neighborhood, you know, and the house is in a better neighborhood. And then going across to Het-Heru, she's deals with visualizations and emotions of joy. She's very joyful. So if you visualize yourself in that house as you own the house already, and those three things are activated on the lower triad, you then are tapping into a base power that can bring you what you want. And as I said before, this is how the law of attraction works, and this is what a lot of the Christians use to manifest certain things. So again, it's the meditation, going into a trance state, examining the belief system, taking into the meditation the correct belief system, and visualizing what you want, and then therefore it will come to fruition. But also, consequently, it's this lower triad that we call is the Sahu, which is the animal nature in men and women. And this is the place where we're stuck in today's society. And as I was speaking about earlier, how we're always focusing on technology and technology and money. You're never taught that there's higher levels to climb to, and there's more power to possess. And if I can just show you this. I found this on the internet, and this guy did some really, really good artwork on this. And this actually breaks down the divisions of your spirit. You have your Sahu man, you have your Ab man, and then you have your Osir man. So you see the lower triad is the the Sahu man, which is the animal nature. This is why you see a lot of the Egyptian hieroglyphics with the, you'll see them with the jackal-headed face or the cat face or lion face. That's just their metaphorical representation of human and animal nature, or divine and animal nature. As you move up and you take possession of Heru, Ma'at, and Heru, you then become an Ab man. And as you climb even higher to acquire wisdom and spiritual power, you become an Osir man. And then there's all these other things. I'm not going to go into it right now. I don't have time. There's the Kahab, the Ku, and the Ba. The Shechem is power. So Western culture only pretends, especially when you're dealing with like psychologists like Freud and Carl Jung, that the only thing that exists is these three on this level, which is the ability to go into trance state, the belief systems which make up who you are, and then your imagination, which can empower your beliefs to bring about what you want. But we have to understand that there is more to who we are, which is why Christianity lacks a full understanding of the makeup of you as God man, God woman, because if you only think there's only this lower triad, which is Sahu man, then you will obviously not think that we are divine beings by nature. So we have within us Osir dormant, waiting to be resurrected. Heru fought Set. Set is Sahu person. to bring his father back to the throne of Egypt. This is a grand metaphor for what you have to do in your lifetime. Is you have to battle the animal nature within you to bring the Asar within you back to the throne. But if you are only taught that your makeup of who you are is Het-Heru, Hathor, Anubis, Sebek, and Set, Isis, then all you think is that you're a sinner. You're a sinner. You're a Sahu man or woman. You're an animal person. You have an animal nature. This is why you have some of the best and brightest scholars in universities keep referring back to the fact that all we are is just animals. And we're not animals because we have a free will. The will is Heru. Because animals, when they're born, they are dominated by instinct. They don't have free will. They cannot ignore their instinct. When we're born, we don't operate by instinct. We have a free will. And that tells you something, that within us is God-man, God-woman, waiting to be awakened. If only we would understand that. It's like using the periodic table of elements in chemistry or whatever, and not seeing all the elements, like taking out like a half of the elements and thinking that's it. Well, that's going to give you a skewed view of chemistry, of what the components are of certain things. And so this is how the world operates, by totally eliminating the upper portions, the upper intelligences or spirits that make us up of who we are, and says we're nothing more than just the animal spirit. So we've got to grow beyond that and understand that we have greater potential than what we're being told. And if we can work together to understand this, we can literally transform the world. The reason that, if you see Osiris at the top here, let me go back, or Osiris, the reason that there is suffering in the world, and you see Osiris, he's a mummy, not moved by emotion, because suffering is a condition of the lower nature. If you understand that you have the ability to transcend your pain and your suffering based on your belief system, because if you have erroneous beliefs, then, you're going to experience those things in life. But if my belief system tells me that nothing has a quality in and of itself, it's only my perception or what I believe that imparts a quality of it, then you'll know that you cannot label something as good or bad, painful or pleasurable, because those things really have no meaning. You're assigning erroneous definitions to them based on a Sebek erroneous belief system. This is why the world suffers so much, and this is what we're going through now, where the ruling elite, the cabal, is playing games now and changing definitions, creating new labels and terms to confuse the public, to get you away from understanding who you really are. They're talking about now, it's like, oh, there's, gendered. Oh, you could be male, female, and binary. Well, what is that? What does that mean, binary? It's causing confusion, and that is not, it's really interesting. But anyway, we know that in all things, because we are part of the universe, we are part of Geb, the planet, we know that things have a yin and yang nature to them. That yin and yang is there for a reason, all right? So, and that is part of who we are, and who we are is part of God source energy, and we are one with all things. And the expressions that we see on the outside world is an indication of what is going on within us. You see what I'm saying? It's only a projection of what's going on within us. That's why our ancient ancestors were such masters of astronomy and math and engineering, because they understood that by understanding one thing, maybe a solar system, they could understand all things, because that was a grand metaphor for something bigger and better, which is why science says now that we're living in a hologram, or a type of fractal that's self-generating, because we understand that these things repeat themselves. You understand? So if you're likely understand a part of who you are internally, then you're likely to understand how solar systems work out there in far distant galaxies. So anyway, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. If you liked this video, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and share this with friends and family members, and let's get this revolution started. So until my next broadcast, this is Kasakma Keperu, and Amun Ra.